Every time you walk into a room full of people, they already know whether you're a leader or a nobody, fascinating or forgettable. You see, the way people see you isn't random, okay? It's shaped by an invisible force that affects every conversation, job opportunity, and relationship in your life. It's the reason some people are respected while others are ignored. And whether you realize it or not, it compounds over time, either working for you or against you. Now, most people don't realize that you can actually control this force, but the ones who do, well, let's just say fame, fortune, and success come a whole lot easier to them. In this video, we're talking about your personal brand, okay? The unspoken currency of success, because when you know how to shape how people see you, doors will open up for you before you even knock. Welcome to Pick Yourself for Success, my friend. We're here to help you step out of your head and into your greatness. So let's start off today by saying everybody has a personal brand, okay? Your personal brand is like your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go, growing and shrinking with every move you make. And even though you've probably never thought much about it, it's shaped by the course of every friendship, job, and relationship you've ever had. Like it or not, you already have a personal brand. It's being built every single day with every little interaction, every decision, and everything you say in public or in private. In some cases, the only question is, are you the one in control of it? And if you want to learn more about controlling your personal brand, check out our video, How to Build an Heroic Brand in Just 7 Steps. Now, most people think they know how others see them, but the truth is, they've got no idea. Have you ever met someone who thinks they're the life of the party, but they come across as arrogant? Or someone who thinks they're the smartest person in the room, but everyone rolls their eyes when they start yapping away? If you're not careful about your personal brand, that could very well be you. But on the other hand, have you ever met someone who never tries too hard, but still commands respect the moment they walk into a room? Maybe it's the leader at work who never speaks much, but everyone listens when they do, or the person at a party who doesn't fight for attention, yet everyone naturally gravitates toward them. And then there's the guy who won't shut up about how successful he is, but nobody really takes him seriously. This is the difference between a personal brand that works for you and one that works against you. When you've got a strong, carefully constructed personal brand, you don't have to fight for respect. It is given to you. You get better opportunities, stronger networks, and more influence not because you're constantly proving yourself, but because people already believe in you before you even open your mouth. But why does this happen? Why do some people effortlessly command respect while others have to beg to be taken seriously? Well, it's because people don't judge you based on reality. They judge you based on perception. Let me just show you what I mean, okay? So imagine you walk into a jewelry store looking for the perfect engagement ring. The owner presents you with 2 identical diamonds. The same cut, same clarity, same value, but there's one key difference. One diamond is displayed in a velvet case, perfectly lit, mounted on a stunning ring, and the other one is sitting in a dusty cardboard box covered in cobwebs. Which one do you think people are going to pay more for? It's obvious, right? Even though they're exactly the same, one diamond is perceived as valuable, while the other one is ignored. It's all about presentation, and this same principle applies to how the world values you. You ever wonder why 2 people with the same experience and skills get wildly different results? One gets hired, promoted, and respected, the other is constantly overlooked. Well, that's because people don't judge you based on what you really are. They judge you based on what they perceive you to be. Think about it. You could be the most skilled, intelligent, hardworking person on the planet, but if other people don't know that, they won't know how to value you. Or worse, if they see you as awkward, unremarkable, or untrustworthy, they'll avoid you entirely. This is why your success in life is just as much about perception as it is about ability. And this perception doesn't just begin the moment you meet somebody. No, it can start before they've even laid eyes on you. Think about it. If somebody speaks highly of you, whoever they're talking to will assume you're valuable before they even meet you. The opposite is also true. If somebody describes you as unimpressive or untrustworthy, that person isn't exactly going to be excited to meet you. And on job interviews, dates, networking events, this happens instantly. People need an idea of who you are and how to treat you, so they look at signals like your posture, the way you dress, the confidence in your voice. So in the immediate sense, the way you present yourself physically is how you start to build a personal brand that works in your favor. And once you get your first impressions under control, the world starts opening doors you didn't even know existed. But here's the thing, okay? First impressions don't last forever. You have to control your narrative a little bit. Personal branding isn't just about how people see you in the moment, it's about how they remember you over time. If you truly want people to see your value, you have to stop thinking of your personal brand as a single interaction and start treating it like a lifelong game because look, okay, if you don't take control of your own narrative, somebody else will, and they won't always be kind about it. You see, people don't just remember the things you do, they remember the story behind them. That's why two people can make the same mistake, but one gets a pass while the other one gets dragged through the mud. It's also why some people's accomplishments are forgotten while others are hailed as legends. I mean, look at Mark Zuckerberg, for example. Meta's mission from day one was to connect people, and as of now, almost 3.5 billion people use at least one of their apps every single day. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Zuck connected half of the planet, but he has such a terrible reputation as the creepy lizard man tech overlord that nobody really talks about the impact he's had. On the other hand, look at the late great Steve Jobs. Behind the scenes at Apple, he was notorious for insulting, berating, and screaming at anyone who didn't meet his crazy demands. By all accounts, working for him was brutal. And yet when people talk about him, they don't call him a tyrant, they call him a visionary. Why? Because that's the narrative he built. Jobs framed every decision, every product, and every keynote speech around a single idea. I'm here to change the world. And guess what? It worked. When you don't actively shape how people see you, you become a blank canvas for people to project their assumptions. That's why today, Zuckerberg is going through a very drastic, very public rebrand. But when you know how to tell your story well, you get to define what your most important moments mean. That's why Apple does everything it can to preserve the idea of the great Steve Jobs. That narrative sells a crap ton of iPhones. Think of it like a movie trailer. If your personal brand is weak, if you're known for being boring, unremarkable, or worse, the creepy lizard man, nobody's going to buy a ticket. But if you're known for something compelling, if you can draw people in, they show up to the theater, okay? They remember your name. Now, the point here is that your personal brand is not set in stone. It's a living, evolving narrative that either works for you or against you. And the only way to control that is through your actions. If you want to be seen as an expert, then you need to consistently share your knowledge and insights. If you want to be trusted, then be the kind of person who never breaks their word. If you want to be known as a leader, then start acting like one even before you're given the title. You have to reinforce that identity over and over again because here's the thing, okay? The more people see you acting in alignment with your narrative, the more they're going to believe it. And something interesting happens once enough people believe your story, you no longer have to introduce yourself. Because you see, most people think that meeting important people and getting opportunities is about going to networking events and stalking people on LinkedIn. But the people with the strongest networks, they don't chase connections. They don't have to because their personal brand does all the heavy lifting for them. Let me explain, okay? So, at first, your personal brand is barely noticeable. Like a weak magnet struggling to hold onto a paperclip, but as it grows, it gets stronger and stronger, and past a certain point, it becomes unstoppable. So instead of a magnet, it's a black hole, a force so strong it bends the world around you, effortlessly sucking in opportunities, influence, and connections. Because look, your personal brand doesn't just exist out there, okay? It compounds. It makes people remember you, respect you, and want to introduce you to others. Until eventually, you have this invisible spiderweb of influence where every connection, every deal, and every recommendation leads to another, and people you've never met suddenly know your name. That's what a well-crafted personal brand does for you. It creates a ripple effect. And once it reaches a tipping point, well, you don't chase opportunities anymore. The best ones come straight to you. And if there's anything you should take away from this video, my friend, it is that personal brands don't just get built accidentally, okay? The most respected people in the world are very deliberate about it. If you're not shaping your personal brand, the world will shape it for you, and that never ends well. Just ask the creepy lizard man. That's why being intentional about how you present yourself isn't optional. It is necessary. And in today's world, your personal brand isn't just about how you show up in person, it's also about how you show up everywhere, okay? Online too. 100 years ago, your personal brand only mattered to your local community, but today, it is global. Every time you post online, you're leaving a digital trail that tells people who you are, what you stand for, and whether or not they should take you seriously. The smartest don't just let their personal brands happen, okay? They put just as much care into their online personal brand as they put into their local one, because if you thought regular connection could get you places, well, with the internet, the opportunities are infinite. Just imagine what happens when you tell your story to millions of people, when your personal brand is so impactful that opportunities, partnerships, and connections just show up. That's what happens when you understand the game behind the game. And lucky for you, we've laid out the entire playbook in our book, Pick Yourself for Success. Like it or not, your personal brand is already being built. And it's either opening doors you didn't know were there, or it's keeping you invisible, overlooked, and stuck. So the question isn't whether you have a personal brand, it's whether you are in control of it. That's why in our book, we teach you how to build and control your personal brand the right way, both online and offline, so you can unlock real-world opportunities. We go through everything from how to build confidence to mastering communication, telling your story, and the personal branding strategies used by top CEOs, influencers, and thought leaders. This is part of our success system, where the U stands for Understand You Are a Brand, emphasizing the importance of personal branding in your success journey. But that's just the beginning. When you dive into Pick Yourself for Success, you're also getting insights into setting powerful goals and strategies that cover everything from physical fitness to communication and wealth creation. It's designed to help you level up every aspect of your life, so if you're ready to shape your personal brand and unlock the kind of success most people can only dream about, then now is the time to take action. Grab your copy today by visiting the link in the description area, where you can snag a copy of the book and start transforming into exactly who you're meant to be. We're excited to see you back here next time. Until then, wishing you much love and happiness, my friend.